Welcome back once again. Right now we're joined by Dr. Sara Khater, Professor of Mass Communication at Cairo University. Good morning, Dr. Khater.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Let us first talk about how did the idea initiate to one of the NGOs here in Egypt to commemorate this day. I mean, the idea of paying tribute to the orphans, and also trying to direct the light to those orphans and put them under the spotlight so that people can understand their needs and their aspirations, as they are members of society and they are the driving force of the future also they share in society.
Yes.
How did the idea spark?
The idea started with one of the volunteers in a charity organization, in an Egyptian charity organization. At the beginning, it was just a suggestion from that volunteer to establish like a national campaign to take care of orphan children. That was in about 2003 or 2004. And then when everyone became very enthusiastic about the idea itself, it later became an official day for the celebration and for raising empathy towards orphan children. That was about 15 years ago.
Right, that was about 15 years ago. So how far have we come ever since 15 years, or I mean 3 decades now, and ever since the civil society started with organizations and charity? We really don't like to call them charity organizations, because actually orphans are members of our society.
Sure.
We do not regard them in the sense of that we pay charity for them or something, because they have rights, they have needs, and those needs should be answered in order that they grow up in the future to be the driving force, to be leaders. And we have seen in history orphans who became leaders.
Of course. I think just like you said, that now we have come a very long distance from when it started. I mean, now people in the society are more aware of such an occasion. They are more aware of what orphan children need. They need to be integrated into the society. They need empathy. They need encouragement. And they need support, of course. They need emotional support. So I totally agree that such an occasion is very important on a humanitarian level. And I think, and I do believe that now we have participation from all parties in the society, like from young people, from government regulatory bodies, and from NGOs as well, in this special occasion.
Right. When we talk about orphans and allocating a special day for orphans, that doesn't mean that we just chant slogans or just raise headlines and sit on round tables and just talk. And it is further more than that. When we talk about orphans, we should talk about facilities or services, and we should talk about plans set for them, to educate them, to surround them with affection needed, to replace the lack of, losing their parents, to dedicate our lives and to dedicate our time, a great deal of our time and passion, to be able to do something tangible for them, to be useful for them, in order so that they grow up as a balanced psychological person.
Yes, exactly. I think the main purpose and goal of this occasion is to try to compensate for their loss, just like you said, and raise them in such a way that they feel welcomed and normal, just like other children. The kind of financial support and emotional support that they need at this very early age is very important, and is very vital for us as a country and as people, actually, as members of society, to be aware of such a fact. And it's important for all of us to engage to provide a better life for such children.
Right. Why do you think people around the world regard an orphan, someone who lost a parent, as something and someone with disability. And this type of child, he grows up to feel inferior, and he feels like he is a little bit less of an ability to others.
Yes.
Unlike the truth. When do you think, and or on other words, can I put the question in that, like, how do you think we can be able to end this concept once and for all?
Well, this is an important question because seeing or regarding orphan children like as they are disabled or something, I don't think this is healthy enough for them. I think they have to be integrated into society, like I was just saying a while ago. They have to feel normal. They have to feel supported by other members of society. This could be through other children like themselves. This could be through adults. This could be through young people. We can all engage together in such a way to provide them with the feeling, the kind of balanced feeling and balanced life and future that they actually require and need at this early age.
Right. Usually street children and the people who lost their parents are usually much more stronger than the spoiled children at home. People who are, I mean, the kids who are pampered by their parents more than, I mean, excessive pampering and excessive spoiling, caring so much for their kids in an excessive way. Usually the street kids are more smart, they are very intelligent, they are resourceful, they are full of ideas. I mean, they are challenging characters, and they are prone to success more than the kids who were born with both parents. How do you agree to that idea?
Well, I think children who have been raised in the streets, unfortunate children, maybe they're stronger because their circumstances, their difficult circumstances required an early development. Yes, they could be stronger, but at the same time, they lack important feelings and important needs, such as the need to feel safe and secured, the need to feel loved and welcomed, the need to be educated like other children their age. So I think as a state, the Egyptian state has come very far in providing a safe environment for those children as well, through joining different international treaties and through providing something like the Children's Rescue Line through the National Council for Motherhood and Childhood, and also through offering a child service line for disabled children. So I think we are doing great efforts in this regard.
How do we make the best use out of all those capabilities of the street children and orphans in orphanages? I mean, orphans in orphanages, when you lack something, you're very keen on restoring it. So if they lack passion, if they lack compassion, they lack parenthood, they are the most people who can give it. So how do we enhance this amongst them more and encourage it instead of the other bad habits, and also make the best use of the compassion inside them that is hidden?
Well, I think, well, as I clarified before, children usually need support during their early years. So in my answer to your question, I think that we have to nurture their desire to have a life, to have a good life, to give them what we call the purpose to live, to encourage them, to making them commit to something healthy, just like sports, like education, to commit to empower themselves, to commit to self-development. I think by doing this, we can guarantee that they have a better life, and we can guarantee that they restore their passion and have something beautiful to live for.
Right. Also, tell us about the different activities that are provided for those inside orphanages, and if there is any type of surveillance or supervision given by civil society in accordance with the Ministry of Solidarity also.
Well, I think activities like, and specifically in this day, on this occasion, they include parties, and they include allowing other members of the society to meet the orphan children and to enjoy some time with them, and maybe play with them, or maybe to teach them something, just to make them feel, like I was saying, welcomed and loved. And I think the surveillance role, the Ministry of Solidarity is doing a great job in this regard, as well as other NGOs and civil society organizations.
Right. What else also is supposed to be required amongst the plans for the orphans in orphanages is a very good curricula of education. I mean, how do they have access to schools? Probably because of the tuition of the schools. I mean, what type of schools? I'm not talking about vocational learning. I'm talking about the normal schooling, like the usual curricula. And until which years? I mean, usually there is a law that would I mean, they are allowed to be inside the orphanages until 18 years old.
Yes, I think so.
And what happens after that?
Well, I think that during these years, till they are 18, financial support is very much needed for their schooling. And financial support through their orphanages or through civil society organizations, and through every one of us, I think, is very much required in order to guarantee proper schooling for these children and a proper learning process. In order to guarantee that kind of education that resembles and is equivalent to other children who have not lost their parents. And I have to add to this point that it's not just financial support that's important. It's very important to give them the emotional support and the feeling of empathy and integration that they need.
Right. There were many movies that tackled the idea of orphanages, and some of them were very informative and some of them were senseless. So how do you think the media and also art are supposed to portray and reflect the lives of orphanism and orphans?
I think the best way to do this is by reflecting on their real lives, and by giving examples of orphans who actually were able to overcome their hardships and be a great role model for everyone else, not just for orphan children. So I think by focusing on these role models and these examples through media and through social media, we can provide orphans with the kind of purpose that I was talking about a while ago, the purpose for being better, the purpose to live better and to have a better future for themselves and for their country.
Right. Tell us about the collaboration of efforts and plans and official collaboration, if there is any, between civil society who are caring for the orphanages activities and I mean looking after orphanages, and the Ministry of Solidarity and other ministries.
I think the Ministry of Solidarity is doing a great effort, and also the Ministry of Youth and Sports has some efforts in this regard, like organizing an event during Ramadan as a part of Ramadan evenings by the Ministry of Youth and Sports. That event was for orphans to engage and participate with other young people in order to have some fun and feel the Ramadan vibes. I think also NGOs and other initiatives like presidential initiatives to take care of orphan children are all doing a great effort, and they're doing their role, I think, in a very good way.
Right. As an expert in that field, if you could explain to us what are the different challenges that orphans talk about in their lives? I mean, at their different stages, starting from being infants, toddlers, and then teenagers. And then usually we keep hearing some stories about people after the age of 18 complaining from so many problems, like for example, they can't find a place to stay at because they are not allowed to stay in the orphanage after the age of 18.
I think, yes, they face a lot of challenges as children. I think the main challenge here would be the lack of emotional support if that happens. So that's why in an early age, as I was saying, it's very important to focus on the emotional support to compensate for the loss of the parents. As teenagers and then later as young people, I think they face these kinds of challenges that they don't feel very much integrated, and that's why our role comes here. We have to make them feel they are parts or main parts of the society. It's important for them to engage in societal activities. It's important for them to engage in all the roles that will enable them or qualify them to be better leaders in the future. And then after being 18, I think that we have to help them till they are fully capable of taking care of themselves.
Right. There are different success stories for in history, and not only in history, in contemporary life. People who were orphans and were left homeless in the streets, and then they became icons, and they became entrepreneurs, very popular entrepreneurs. So most probably these types of stories and those icons could be leading role models for other orphans to learn about. I mean, to be able to acknowledge and get awareness about those stories, to follow the footsteps of those people, and give them, even to give them hope and encourage them.
Exactly. That's why I was saying it's very important for different media, whether it was traditional media or social media, to focus on such stories. We have to be clear that right now storytelling is very important, and it's very attractive for the younger generations. So by focusing on such stories, such inspirational stories, such role model stories, I think we can benefit the society as a whole, and at the same time benefit orphan children who can actually use these stories as a kind of self-motivation to be better.
Right. What challenges that meet the civil society while trying to work on this particular file, the orphanages and the street kids? And what is the difference between street kids and orphans? I mean, both are orphans, but usually some of the street kids are left away by their parents, or they get into some type of trade or something like that. How do you explain both cases?
Well, I think that both are a current challenge, whether caring for orphan children or caring for unfortunate children who have been left out in the streets. Because both cases, just like you said, are different. Orphan children, they're just children who have lost their parents, but unfortunate children, they're children who have been left out in the streets for several reasons. It doesn't have to be the loss of their parents. It could be some family problems. It could be any troubles that they have faced, and it made them have to live on the street. So I think we have to make sure that each case is treated in the way it needs, because psychological caring and psychological treatment and rehabilitation of both cases or of orphans and unfortunate children is very different from each other. So we have to make sure that all of them get the psychological care they need.
Right, of course. Would like to thank you so much, Dr. Sara Khater, Professor of Mass Communication at Cairo University, talking to us on the Breakfast Show. We're going to go to a short break and we'll come to continue the show, so stay with us.